I never believed in the myths the old colonies whispered about Kheraxis. To me, it was just another long-abandoned exoplanet with a few dusty relics and the occasional archaeologist making wild claims. But after what happened to me, I know better. Kheraxis changed everything. The planet's surface shimmered gold and blue as our dropship pierced its atmosphere. Ancient ruins littered the region we called Sector 7. According to the records, it was once home to a proud alien civilization known as the Thalrai, long extinct. I was there as part of a private excavation mission, a glorified scavenger hunt for off-world tech. Honestly, I was just looking for a paycheck. But what I found instead was her beginning, the discovery. The first few days were routine, mapping, scanning, and hauling broken tech. The ruins were colossal, arched structures swallowed by sand, with bizarre symbols etched deep into their stone. One structure in particular caught my eye. A dome-shaped temple half buried in a canyon. No one else wanted to waste time clearing the sand or crawling through the unstable debris. But something about it called to me. Took me 2 days to break through the collapsed entrance. I almost gave up until my drone picked up something strange. An energy signature. Weak, almost non-existent, but still there. Inside, the temple was colder than the rest of the ruins. Ancient carvings lined the walls in concentric rings. At the center stood a statue. She was magnificent, 10 feet tall, carved from glimmering obsidian with filaments of gold running down her limbs. Wings curled behind her like armor. Her face was serene, regal, and heartbreakingly alien. Elongated features, no mouth, eyes like empty stars. I couldn't stop staring. There was something alive in her stillness. Not merely art. Not merely stone. Looks like a queen, I muttered, brushing the dust from her chest plate. As my fingers made contact, something clicked. A pulse of violet light erupted from her body, throwing me backward into the wall. The room trembled. Symbols lit up on the walls, and the air tasted of ozone. And then she moved. Her stone flesh cracked, glowing from within as if molten light coursed through hidden veins. I watched, stunned, as she stepped down from the pedestal. Her wings flexed, breaking the silence with a mechanical hiss. I scrambled backward, heart slamming in my chest. Wait. I didn't mean to. She turned her head toward me. No eyes. No words. But I felt her gaze pierce through me. A deep voice, not spoken but resonating inside my mind, answered. You are not of Thalrai. Yet you have awakened me. Why? Middle. The awakening. I didn't mean to, I said aloud. I was just exploring. She tilted her head. You carry no weapon, no banner. Yet your touch bore intent, curiosity, compassion. You are not a thief. I stood up slowly, brushing off dust. Who are you? She paused, wings folding behind her. I am called Az'ra Tel, guardian of the crown flame, keeper of Kheraxis. Az'ra Tel, I repeated. Are you alive? I was once. Then I became more. Or less. Time eroded the lines. I was sealed as sentinel when the stars turned against us. She stepped closer. The ground vibrated gently beneath her feet. And now, you have undone the silence. I didn't know you were real. Alive. Many didn't. I asked more questions. She answered cryptically, like someone half remembering a dream. The Thalrai had not died out, she explained. They had retreated. Faced with a cosmic threat, something she called a consumption, they chose to lock away their essence, their memories, their leaders. She was one of the last, transformed into a living monument, placed to guard Kheraxis until the stars were safe again. But no one ever came back. I was never meant to awaken again, she whispered. Unless summoned by one worthy. I laughed nervously. Me. I'm just a salvager. And yet you reached out. You gave me form once more. That is not nothing. Middle continued, the bond. For the next few days, she followed me through the ruins. The rest of the crew had no idea what I'd found. I kept her a secret, hiding her deeper in the temple while I returned to camp with fake reports. I couldn't risk someone trying to harvest her for parts or trap her again. Each night I returned to the temple. And each night she remembered more of her people, her war and her sorrow. One evening I found her standing at the edge of a broken archway, staring up at the stars. My people once danced among these lights, she said. Now they are dust. Or worse, lost in sleep without end. I'm sorry, I said. I really am. She looked at me, her expression unreadable. You don't fear me. No, I said truthfully. Should I? You should. I was a weapon once. A god to those who worshipped me. I was death, beauty, and judgment. I shook my head. You were hope. You still are. Her wings shimmered softly. Then she reached out and placed her palm against my chest. My breath caught. Strange. Your kind burns so briefly. But you shine so bright. Climax. The storm returns. On the 10th day the sky turned black. A storm unlike anything recorded on Kheraxis descended. Energy readings went haywire. Lightning that bled purple and green streaked the sky. Then they came. Dark constructs, metallic, faceless, descended from the clouds like insects. Kheraxis' wings snapped open. The consumption, she growled. They followed your signal. My signal. When you touched me, you activated ancient relays. Flare through time. They know I am awake. The creatures struck fast. Our camp was shredded. My team barely had time to scream. I ran, screaming her name. Kheraxis met them at the canyon entrance. She was terrifying. A blur of wings and fire, of molten energy and grace. Her hands carved through the enemy like light through paper. But there were too many. One of them grabbed me. I felt cold metal pierce my side. I cried out, and suddenly I was in her arms. You will not take him. Her wings wrapped around me, forming a cocoon as energy exploded outward. When I opened my eyes, nothing moved but the wind. The attackers were gone. Shone the wind. But so was her strength. She fell to her knees, fading again. No, stay with me. She looked up, face dimming. I cannot hold form much longer. My energy is fading. There has to be a way, I said. What about the flame? The relics? Something. There is one way, she said weakly. The binding. Her hand touched my face. If we merge. If you share your fire with mine. Can survive. But you will never be the same. I didn't hesitate. Do it. Ending, the new dawn. The ritual was pain. Like fire. 1,000 stars screaming into my mind. And then calm. When I opened my eyes, she stood before me. Glowing, alive, reborn. But I felt it too. Part of her was inside me now. Memories, instincts, even a whisper of power. We were bound. She took my hand. You have given me more than life. You've given me purpose. Together we rebuilt what we could. We marked the site as sacred. Others came eventually. Scientists, historians, pilgrims. But they never saw her, not fully. To them she was still just a statue. But to me she was alive. And every night, beneath the twin moons of Kheraxis, I held her hand as she watched the stars, no longer alone.